Birmingham, ALA national political leaders, a Hollywood actress and a retired basketball star made last-ditch efforts Monday to woo voters in Alabama's U.S. Senate race, as the candidates gave their final arguments in a pivotal special election that has attracted more than $41 million in spending. Former President Barack Obama and former Vice President Joe Biden recorded robocalls for Democrat Doug Jones, while President Trump recorded an appeal for Republican Roy Moore. If Alabama elects liberal Democrat Doug Jones, all of our progress will be stopped cold, Trump said in his recorded message. For his last event of the campaign, Moore brought in a raft of out-of-state conservative activists, including former White House advisor Stephen K. Bannon, Rep. Louis Gohmert, Artex, and former Milwaukee County Sheriff David Clarke. They tried to destroy Donald Trump, and they're trying to destroy Roy Moore, Bannon said. There's no bottom for how low they'll go. The stakes were high for both parties, as the outcome is likely to set the stage for the 2018 midterm elections. A win in the Deep South for Democrats, the first in a Senate race in Alabama since 1992, would be a rebuke to Trump and Bannon, who have promoted Moore over the objections of establishment Republicans. The victory would also lend credibility to Democratic efforts to regain control of the Senate next year. The Democratic path to a Senate majority in 2018 involves a miracle somewhere, said Kyle Kondik, a political analyst at the University of Virginia Center for Politics. And we may be on the cusp of a Democratic miracle in Alabama. A win for Moore, in contrast, would weaken the hand of mainstream Republicans, who have struggled to broaden the party's appeal heading into the midterms. Moore, a former state Supreme Court judge, has campaigned on a platform of opposing Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, R. Kentucky. Former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, a Republican who was born in Alabama, released a statement encouraging people to vote that seemed to rebuke Moore but stopped short of naming him. These critical times require us to come together to reject bigotry, sexism, and intolerance, she wrote, before adding that voters should insist on leaders who are dignified, decent, and respectful of the values we hold dear. Meanwhile, a Republican National Committee woman from Nebraska, Joyce Simmons, announced that she had resigned her post in protest of her party's continued support for Moore, who has been accused by multiple women of sexual misconduct when they were teenagers and Moore was in his 30s. I strongly disagree with the recent RNC financial support directed to the Alabama Republican Party for use in the Roy Moore race, Simmons said in an email to party leaders, who were first informed Friday of her decision. There is much I could say about this situation, but I will defer to this weekend's comments by Senator Shelby. Sen. Richard C. Shelby, R. who voted for a write-in candidate, said Sunday that he found Moore's accusers to be believable and that Moore would not represent the state well. I think Alabama deserves better, Shelby said Sunday on CNN's State of the Union.